Hello and welcome to the Free Dominion Show. My name is Freeman, Singirankabo, and thank you so much for tuning into our program today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from the social media platforms, welcome. We are super excited and super thrilled that you can find some time out of your busy schedule to join our program today. Be sure to subscribe, share, and follow our presentations or our program. And also, we would love for you to come and participate in real time because we are live. We are live right now as it happens. And that goes for the same of you also following this program via television and radio station. We are super grateful, guys, for this opportunity to come and hang out with you guys right at this moment. For those of you who are not familiar, we come here during our show every single day, Monday through Friday, between 12 to 1:30, and we speak to you. We come to you, to your living room. We are truthfully, boldly, and we come with no apologies. Everything we discuss here at Free Dominion are the contents that we've been longing to discuss, especially some of those things that happen or of which are happening every single day in our lives. And so, guys, we are literally driven by the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which we would love to have each and every one of you measure both the validity and the content of what we share today and every single day here at Free Dominion. And with that in mind, guys, if you have any comments, if you have any concerns, anything that you want to share with us, be sure to shoot us a message because we speak up in the open, guys, and we are super transparent. We believe that everything we have to say, we want to say it up in your face. We want to say it boldly and with no apologies. Like I said, we do not ask any apologies or any consent to any of you to speak and to solve our issues or our situations. It's been a long time since we haven't had a word, since we haven't had a platform where we can actually express ourselves, and now we do. And so, we are not going to waste it. We are absolutely not going to waste it. And with that in mind, for those of you who would love to share some comments, some feedback with us, check us out at our Free Dominion website, which is www.afreedominion.com, www.afreedominion.com. And right there, you will find that we have an email. We have not only we have an email, but we also have email, telephone number, and some of our social media handlers. Be sure to use any of the information that you find there because that's why we have it there, so that you can have ways to communicate with us. So we do not hide. We do not believe in hiding. We come boldly and just right up in your face, guys. And we are also respectful, guys. Just because we are coming very boldly and with no apologies, it doesn't mean that we are belittling any of you. There's no belittlement, even though we have experienced it, but we are not here to belittle nobody. And with that in mind, guys, welcome to each and every one of you. I'm super excited for the opportunity. Today we are Wednesday, June 1st. Happy June month, guys. Happy June month for each and every one of you. And happy Wednesday to all of you guys who are still breathing the air of the living, guys. So today, like I say, we are June 1st. Super excited to have you here. And we want to have nothing more than to discuss what we have at hand, and we want to waste no time, especially that we started a little bit of late. We started about 30 minutes late because we had some other things happening. So today we're just going to be strictly on 1 hour. We're not going to get past 1 hour, and if you want to participate, come through right now, and that's all I can say about it. So what I want to talk about today, guys, what is it that we want to talk about today? The topic for today, or the subject that we are going to focus on: can Rwanda play the genocide ideology card successfully in the DRC and against the Congolese people? Let me repeat: can Rwanda play the genocide ideology card successfully in the DRC and against the Congolese people? This is a question we are wondering today, and we've been wondering for quite some time now. And it is a question that most of you have started to witness or you are seeing on the internet, on social media, on various platforms, be it radio, televisions. Now you're seeing a narrative from Rwanda where they're using the genocide ideology card to actually blackmail people, now to blackmail a nation as big as the DRC. You may be wondering what am I talking about for those of you who are not familiar with the context. So let me lay it down for maybe a minute, for 30 seconds or a minute. Those of you who are not familiar right now, there is a war between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, also known as the DRC. So Rwanda has been using proxy soldiers, proxy fighters, proxy rebel groups. And now they are also being labeled as terrorist groups within the DRC to destabilize the region, to destabilize the DRC, mainly because DRC is filthy rich, filthy wealthy in natural resources. So I want to make sure that we cut to the chase, so at least you understand the context right then and there. Rwanda is a little teeny country, a little teeny country. If I give you a comparison of the DRC, also known as the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Rwanda, DRC is 89 times bigger than Rwanda. 89 times bigger than Rwanda. So everything that you see in the DRC is supersized. And Rwanda has been focusing on the eastern region of the DRC, specifically those regions like Bunia, Goma, and Kivu region, because they border Rwanda. We share the same border. Now, in that same region, they have so many fighters. And up to this day, we are told that there are more than 130 rebel groups or armed groups in the region, including those armed groups being utilized by the Rwandan government to destabilize the security in the region. And now, Rwanda is flipping the script on the DRC or against everybody. And I'm getting ready to get into that momentarily. But I want you guys to see and to understand the context right now. For those of you, again, who are not familiar, the genocide card, the genocide ideology card, unfortunately, back in 1994 specifically, my apologies, there was a genocide in Rwanda where so many people died. So many people. We have three ethnicity groups. Oh, by the way, I'm also from Rwanda. That's where I was born. So I kind of know it on the more intimate level. So we have the Hutus, the Twa, and the Tutsis as the three main groups in Rwanda. But today, the rebel group that attacked Rwanda on October 1st, 1990, turned into government, which is the government that we have today, have since then literally wiped out ethnicity in Rwanda. It's been wiped out. They don't want you to talk about it. However, it is utilized every single day in our lives. There are ways to figure out. The same way during the wars in Rwanda, for those of you who are not familiar, for 4 years that we had war, especially now at the end of the war, they will look at your physical feature. And they could easily say you are a Hutu, you are a Twa, or a Tutsi. And of course, sometimes they will get it wrong. And a lot of innocent people were killed because they were not properly arrayed. But also, you could simply lie at the same time. But that's besides the point. Why am I bringing this up? Right now, Rwanda is using the genocide ideology card. And what kind of card is it? Since 1994, Rwanda has been on a killing spree globally, all over the world, utilizing the genocide card, meaning they've been using the genocide as a pretext to follow every single successful Rwandese people. Of course, including the perpetrators, but now Rwanda has successfully used the genocide ideology card to follow, to execute, and to literally bring back every single Rwandese person that they would wish to bring in the country. Almost all the people that they would like to have. If you are intelligent, if you are smart, if you are wealthy, if you have money, if you do not work with the rebel groups turned into government, the Rwandan Patriotic Front, they literally manufacture a case against you. And you are automatically labeled as a genocidaire. So, unsurprisingly, a few days ago, for those of you who are just seeing this whole thing erupting, Rwanda now has been accused of attacking the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Old news, we know since 1996 that Rwanda has its presence in the Democratic Republic, Republic of the Congo. Since 1996, officially anyway, because since 1994, they have followed Rwandese refugees who have fled the country when the rebel group, the Rwandan Patriotic Front, took over the country and became a government. So since then, their presence in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, also known as the DRC, has been literally known by us, the locals. Even the international community, they are fully aware of it, including the United Nations. So today, the Rwandan minister of Foreign Affairs had the audacity to say that the Democratic Republic of the Congo and its army, it's actually a terrorist group. They've taken one of the Rwandan rebel group called FDLR, and they sided them with the Democratic Republic of the Congo army, and therefore they are saying that now they are they are terrorists as well. Now, one of the most important thing, or the most interesting thing, the DRC government, or the Democratic Republic of the Congo government, has labeled one of those rebel group helped by Rwanda as a proxy rebel group. Most of you know of this group. They have since singled them out as a terrorist organization. Now, given that that particular group also happened to have people of ethnicity Tutsis in it, be it Rwandese people of origin or those who are literally in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It's a mixture of them all, which is how actually Rwanda has been utilizing the group to attack the Congo and to help the integrity of that ethnicity group in the DRC. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. This is just like literally an overhead, a quick summary, 10-second summary. So if I do forget something that's important, don't hold it against me, because there's so much of it that you can learn by either going on the internet, going on the social medias. There is so much to be learned. Now, going back to what we're talking about today, why is this important and why am I bringing it today? So the Minister of Foreign Affairs, guys, the Rwandan Minister of Foreign Affairs, the name of this gentleman is Biruta Vensa, has realized that the same rhetoric that Rwanda has been utilized, it's now catching up with it. What kind of rhetoric is it? First and foremost, they have been labeling everybody as genocidaire. And then secondly, they have been literally torturing people. And when I say torturing people, start with the Rwandese citizens in the country. They've been tortured. Those outside of the country, for example, if you are a rebel group like FDLR, that they usually will single out. If you are caught, you get tortured. That's the least that happens to you. So the same script in the Rwandese manual, it's actually being attributed to the Congolese people now. So the minister has literally and categorically said that according to the news that they have, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is siding with the terrorist group called the FDLR. Remember, anytime you are labeled a terrorist, you are actually invoking sympathy, you are invoking solidarity with the international community. So that everybody be like, oh, wait, we have a terrorist here, so let's go get them. So now, if the Democratic Republic of the Congo army is being seen as a terrorist group by Rwanda, what does that tell you? Another thing that's quite important that has happened, and it's almost recurring today. So there is a pretext that Rwanda is going to protect the integrity of its territory by fighting in the Democratic Republic of the Congo because of bombs are falling on the on the Rwandan territory. The Minister of Foreign Affairs also did mention that, and he requested that why is it that there is no apologies, that nobody has said anything about it. Guys, in 1996, actually don't quote me on the year, when Paul Kagame was a vice president, before they literally invaded the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So they went to the DRC and they literally they shoot themselves right back in Rwanda, according to testimonies of RPF itself. So Kagame comes up around that time. I don't remember if it was in 1996 or 1997, but he was like, yesterday somebody shelled our territory in Cyangugu and wounded at us, and that has gotten consequences. If you slap me in the face before I get back, I will think, and I will hit somewhere else, and there's no question about it. If you go on one of these news agency, which one is it? I don't remember. If you go on social media, you will see a clip where there's a conference that the then vice president and the minister of defense was saying that someone is sharing the territory of Rwanda in Cyangugu. So Cyangugu, it's the western territory in Rwanda. It's no longer called Cyangugu. It's called like the western district or something like that. But he was explicitly saying that because they have shared our territory, we have the obligation to go and fight back. Now, again, an elephant versus a mouse, okay? And the mouse is saying, by the way, you are sharing my territory in Cyangugu, and that has consequences. If you slap me in the face before I get back, I will think, and I will hit somewhere else, and there's no question about it. And 20 years later, 20-something years later, the minister is repeating the same thing. Rwanda has what did he say? Let me try to give it to you so you do not, I do not misquote him. He said that they are concerned about these bombs falling in Rwanda, and Rwanda is now going to stand by. They're going to have to do something about it. Now, Rwanda has been doing something about it for more than 20-something years. Rwanda has occupied the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo since 1994. Now, the Congolese people know, but now they have the balls. They have the balls right now to actually stand up against this little mouse, Rwanda. And again, guys, this is so awkward because I'm Rwandese, okay? I am Rwandese, and it's like I'm bad-mouthing my own nation. But there's a reason, guys. The Rwandan Patriotic Front, the rebel group turned into government, has been messing the entire region. Kagame and all the soldiers that they fought with since October 1st, 1990, they've been messing, bringing chaos in the whole region. Kagame made himself or he was whitewashed and transformed into a businessman, a successful businessman, successful businessman. But Kagame has many bodies on the top of him. He led the war since 1990 to 1994, and then from 1994 to today. You have millions of people who are dead in the Great Lakes region. We're talking about between 15 and 20 millions? And Rwanda happens to be in the middle of all these wars. Now, the Congolese people, all of a sudden, they are waking up. They're waking up and they're speaking up. And Rwanda realizes, like, wait, hold up. Now we are being labeled as a terrorist group through this proxy rebel group. Because they helping this rebel group, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo is calling this rebel group a terrorist group, Rwanda is going to be implicated. But it's not just that, guys. Now, the Congolese people are speaking up for the first time, openly, be it on social media, on radio, on television, in government meetings. And the international community now is actually paying attention publicly. Before, they were silent because, again, the interest in the region. Every single nation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo is not there to help the Congolese people. They are there to help themselves. However, this war is touching some other things that includes naming the same people who've been in the DRC since God knows when. So the Congolese people, for the first time, they're standing up against the bullies. So Rwanda, it's also being used, unfortunately, by the most powerful nations. I'm not afraid to mention them. There is like the United States, there is Canada, there is France, UK. They have shops in Rwanda. They go through Rwanda and get whatever it is they need in the DRC, and then they go back. For instance, the United States. The United States government can go to Rwanda, run its business, and come back here with no problem. By the way, I am also hosted by the United States ever since. So it's kind of awkward. It's like you bad-mouthing your own family. This is kind of crazy. But guys, there is a reason why we speak boldly and truthfully. And there is a reason why we say, if we are providing inaccurate information, come forward. We are alive. You can speak up against anything that we are saying publicly. If there are any errors in what we are saying, we have an obligation to publicly apologize and rectify or correct whatever the information we are giving you which is inaccurate. So when I speak truthfully, boldly, right now to you guys, this is uncomfortable, but it has to be said. If your uncle, if your brother, if your sister, if your family member is ganging up against someone and you know they're doing it, and you choose to look away, you are no good to the society. Rwanda has a culture where you can get raped publicly and the people look away because the Rwandan Patriotic Front, the government, have successfully transformed the people into donkeys. They have institutionalized fear where nobody can dare to say anything. Few people dare say anything and they end up dead, disappeared, jailed, tortured. I mean, anything you can imagine. That almost sounds like it's in the movie. It's real in Rwanda. Yesterday we mentioned a few names who have literally been paying with their lives, and it would be remiss if I didn't actually mention them because I think this is a good opportunity, even though I have not planned to mention it. For this past 20-something years, Rwanda thrives because they have mastered something we call lobbying. They have mastered utilizing resources of media. They have mastered whitewashing themselves. It's like having a pig, a dirty pig, and take you time and fix its nail, put a little cologne on it, a little perfume on it, and fix, and do all this makeup towards it. That pig, it's still stinky, it's still dirty, and it still is a pig. So Rwanda, in all that it has been doing, when I said Rwanda, I'm referring to the Rwandan Patriotic Front, turned into a government. They came killing people since 1990. The international community started talking about it publicly in 1994 when the genocide was actually blossoming. But the war, the 4-year war was happening. and people were dying. Now, during the genocide time frame, again, the international community decided to take a blind eye. Something that now Rwanda is actually accusing the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Rwanda was helped. It was a rebel group themselves. And today there is a rebel group in East Democratic Republic of the Congo attacking the Democratic Republic of the Congo. One of the rebel group that's been labeled a terrorist group. So Rwanda is helping them the same way as a rebel group. Uganda, the United Kingdom, and the United States were being, they were helping them back in 1990. Something that most of you will never publicly acknowledge, even though you know it. Privately, you talk about it. So you have a rebel group turned into a government today, crying out loud that other people are accusing it to cause havoc, to bring instability in the region. A rebel group whitewashed to a professional group, a professional army, doing the same thing that they were doing 32 years ago in another territory. And it's catching up right now. Now, they have learned that when you use a proxy, for those of you who are not familiar with this language, because yesterday some people asked me, what does a proxy war mean? A proxy war means you get a middleman to be the dirty guy. So instead of you fighting it directly like man to man, if I'm fighting with you, you throw a punch, I know it's coming from you. If I throw a punch back, I know you know that it's coming straight from me. So what I would do, I'll bring in Uncle Sam right in the middle of it. And then I tell Uncle Sam, hey, take that punch and then swing. I'm gonna hold your arm, and then when you swing, my strength plus yours, it's gonna make some damages. So a lot of the nations today, that's actually something that is not very new. All these powerful nations, they're using proxy rebel groups. They're using proxy groups to wage wars. Yesterday I was telling you how in the DRC, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, you can find the latest weapon on the street. The latest weapon, 2022 weapon manufactured there. Manufactured, and it's on the soil, being utilized as an instrument of war. But you cannot find a bag of rice on the same street as easy as you can find these guns. The Democratic Republic of the Congo doesn't have an arm manufacturing farm there, nor does Rwanda, nor does Burundi, nor does Uganda. How do these guns come? So you have the so-called big fish who are bringing in these guns, who are instigating wars, but they're using little people. These little people are called proxy fighters, proxy group. They're using them to advance their causes. So Rwanda is no different. They have been taking notes because they were used as a proxy rebel group before they became a government themselves. They were used from Uganda to attack Rwanda and then go into the Democratic Republic of the Congo. When they arrived, they realized that, hey, these big boys are stealing and we are the dirty guys doing the dirty work. Nobody sees them because we are on the forefront of everything. So while we're helping them, we are fine. We also going to help ourselves. And later, Rwanda realized that every time people scream Hail Mary, that hey, we are being violated, Rwanda gets to be served. So Paul Kagame himself, those of you guys, I'm going to say, because I know you may be wondering where this came from. There was a time, again, I didn't prepare, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. There was a time when Rwanda was sending a bunch of students to Pittsburgh in a very little teeny college called La Roche. So this little school, Rwanda would use these students who were actually military personnel, Tunditon students, and they will come station there as students, and then they will be dispatched in the United States to find and to see and to seek where Rwandese people are, especially the most influential people, those who are rich. So this one time, Kagame comes there, and then he was complaining and telling Rwanda in Kinyarwanda that, hey, let me tell it to you in Kinyarwanda so that I am correctly understood, and then I will translate him. So he says, umuntu mujya kwibana, ibisambo bijya kwibana, noneho bakavanamo igisambo kimwe akaba aricyo bavuga ko ngo nicyo kibye. So he literally said something like that in the crowd. I was there personally, that's how I know. So I was saying that Kagame, he comes in and then he was complaining to the people. I think he was talking about that you people are complaining that we are raising tax and we are doing that. And he was like, only if you knew the country that you are in. And also during that time, Rwanda was being utilized as a punch bag. And so he said that thieves go together and they steal stuff. But then they turn against some of these thieves. So he was saying that Rwanda and the United States and the United Kingdom and a lot of these powerful nations, they went to the Democratic Republic of the Congo to steal the goods. But then when they were caught in the cookie jar, Rwanda was conveniently the only nation that was mentioned up. So Kagame himself was saying this in Rahosh when he was addressing those students. Now, why am I bringing this here? Today, Biruta, who's the foreign minister in Rwanda, is saying we do not have any soldiers in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The same way Museveni, who's the president of Uganda, was saying we don't have any beef with Rwanda. We will never attack Rwanda. Again, go look for those things. When politicians are lying publicly and they get amnesia 2 days later, 10 years later, 20 years later, it boggles my mind. Biruta has the audacity to say Rwanda has no soldiers in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He's addressing you, the international community, but he conveniently forgets that there are people like Freeman, so many Rwandese people, so many Congolese people who are fully aware that he's full of it. He's lying, boldly lying to you all. But actually now you, the international community, you are no longer fools. You are aware of it. Conveniently, the United Nations, they've been there, camping there for all this time. They are the best spies there. They can tell you everything that's happening, which is how you know that there are at least 130 armed groups in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, because they are able to gather information while they also helping themselves out and to other goods. So there's no free lunch in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. Everybody's there for themselves. And Rwanda is no exception. So today the script is flipped against Rwanda. Now Rwanda started saying that the Congolese people are now training they population, they're accusing the Democratic Republic of the Congo for the genocide ideology. So remember, right now, Rwanda labels every single Rwandese person who dares to speak against it as a genocidaire, or as having been fed genocidaire breast milk. You've been breastfed with genocidaire milk. Or they will just simply say that you have a genocide ideology. Something that was also being utilized back during the Nazis' days. Now, it's worked for these 20-something years against Rwandese people. So the foreign minister conveniently say, hey, there's a genocide ideology being pumped into the population in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And he also took some time to take some videos to actually substantiate what he's saying. He took like a few clips here and there and played them out so that the people can actually understand that there is a genocide ideology being planted in the DRC. And he goes on and he says, what's going to happen when all of a sudden this genocide ideology comes to a fruition? When it yields the fruits, what's going to happen? And sadly, guys, why am I bringing this? There's nothing that's happening today in the middle of the Great Lakes region, including the DRC, Rwanda, and this neighboring country, that is not pre-prepared. The war in the DRC has been pre-prepared, the same way the war in Rwanda was pre-prepared. So it is no shocking to me personally that this is happening. The problem right now, Rwanda, it's not helped. It's not being helped as it was helped before. The forces that have been behind Rwanda are looking for alternatives right now. And the mouse fighting the elephant suddenly is realizing that they are no match. Biruta is saying that, hey, we don't need any war. Don't drag us into this war in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. Besides, there are genocidaires there. We don't want to fight with the genocidaire. Now the DRC itself is turned into a genocidaire. Even the United Nations troops are being accused of being genocidaire indirectly, because they are saying that they are fighting side by side with a rebel group called FDLR, which is a group conveniently labeled as a genocidaire group. So if you and I are fighting side by side with someone who's committed genocide, now Rwandan conveniently can quickly and unequivocally label you as a genocidaire. They can also say that you have a genocide ideology, something that doesn't have a firm decision like 1 + 1 = 2. It only works based on where the chips are going to fall in a positive way. So surprisingly, Rwandan has conveniently labeled the DRC, the entire DRC army, as a terrorist group. And they have accused them also to work with the FDLR and to arm them and then to come and attack Rwanda. And he further said that they want to come back to Rwanda and finish the genocide that was, that they couldn't finish back then. Can you imagine? That is a classic of what they call genocide ideology in Rwanda. The minister himself, he has a genocide ideology, and he's trying very hard to actually attribute it to the Congolese people as well. Now, with all that mingling happening right now, can the Congolese people be accused of a genocide ideology? That's what I really want to end up this script or this thought, and you go think about it. When the Rwandan Patriotic Army invaded Rwanda, they indiscriminately wiped out people in the northern side of the country. We're talking about places that used to be called Byumba, Ruhengeri, and Gisenyi. They came killing. When Rwanda went to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, following the Rwandese refugees, they killed so many of them. There's an estimated 3 million people who have been killed by the Rwandan Patriotic Army. Not only that, it gets better, but it's sad. Did you know that in the Great Lakes region, every single nation in the Great Lakes region have amongst its population those who have ethnicity of Hutu, Tutsis, and Twa? Why am I mentioning this? When the Rwandan Patriotic Army followed the Rwandese refugees in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, they could not differentiate the Rwandese people of ethnicity Hutu and the Congolese people of ethnicity Hutu. They wiped out everybody. They killed them indiscriminately. The same thing that today the Congolese people of ethnicity Tutsis have Rwandese identification card, including those rebel groups who are currently being labeled as terrorists. They were housed in Rwanda conveniently, but when it gets, but when things got hot, they would go back to the DRC. So they call themselves the Congolese citizens, but they also have Rwandese citizenship. So depending on whose oven is hotter, they flip-flop. And Congolese is like, we're tired of this. Rwanda, take your people. Stop fighting on our territory. You've been fighting, you've been killing, you've been harassing, you've been raping, you've been doing all these crazy things for the past 28 plus years. And we've had it. So, Congolese people get mad. They go on social media and they express themselves, something that Rwanda is afraid of. Rwanda wants to have the biggest microphone to speak against everybody who is even daring to look at Rwanda in a funny way. They want to be the only one who have the biggest microphone so they can say whatever it is they want to say. But now, the Congolese people, in thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, are up and they're speaking up. They're speaking up and saying, Rwanda is killing us publicly. Kagame government is killing us publicly. And they're catching now these terrorist groups there and showing that they are being helped by Rwanda. They have the Rwandan uniform, they have the Rwandan guns and machetes and bullets and all of that. Excuse the machete part. I don't know if the machetes are coming from Rwanda, but I know every single household in the region have a machete. A machete is just a regular tool, the same way you have a knife in the kitchen. Africans use machetes to cut, to chop trees, to do all kinds of things. So now Rwanda is reminding you that, hey, remember in 1994, Interahamwe's chopped people, they killed people with machetes. So they conveniently took a few video clips from Congolese who are saying, hey, let's go help, let's go fight for our country. Let's go and retaliate against Rwanda. Grab your machetes, grab this and grab that. Let's go and fight. And you wonder, if you are shelling our territory in Cyangugu and wounded that has gotten consequences. That's Kagame himself who said that. He was threatening. He was threatening that anybody who's sharing the territory of Rwanda, in particular in Cyangugu, it is not going to go unnoticed. But that was when all these powerful nations were still courting Rwanda. They were still basically milking and giving milk to Rwanda. Right now, Rwanda cannot say the same thing. The United States, France, UK, Russia, China, they no longer need Rwanda as a proxy gateway to go to Congo. They can go through Kinshasa, talk to the government, tell them what they want, and they make a little bit of make a deal, and they still get what they want. So Rwanda now has realized that it's no longer as powerful as it was in 1990s, as it was in the 2000s. It's no longer a middleman, even though it's gotten rich being and playing a middleman. So Biruta today is basically trying as hard as he can possibly try to convince the international community that Rwanda has 0 soldiers in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, when Kagame himself has been speaking contrary to that. Arrogantly telling you that if you slap me in the face before I get back, I will think and I'll hit somewhere else, and there's no question about it. And the next day, you found thousands and thousands and thousands of bodies evidently wiped out. Guys, everything that I'm saying is verifiable. Especially, I thank God that we have social media. Right now, if you go on YouTube and you just put in these words, yesterday somebody shelled our territory in Cyangugu, you will see a speech, a whole narrative of what Kagame said back in those days in 1990s. Right before Rwanda went to the DRC. Right now they say that they were they were trying to protect the integrity of Rwanda. But guess what? Today the DRC is awake. The little mouse can no longer go and bullies an elephant. The elephant, it sees a mouse and it's like, you are no match. But the mouse keeps on nagging it. Can you just imagine? It's not even a fair fight. Can I just say that up front? It is not a fair fight. However, the mouse still wants to keep on bullying. Rwanda is the biggest bully in the Great Lakes region. They use the genocide card, the genocide ideology card. They silence you by using, you are genocidaire. The same way they are labeling the DRC army as a terrorist group. I mean, how dare do you actually say, this is a terrorist group? And they're labeling the United Nations troops terrorist group, even though I don't know what the United Nations is doing in the region. I would rather that they go out actually. But then if they go out, they won't be able to get the goodies. The same goodies that Rwanda is seeking. Come on. So it's messy, guys. It's messy. Bottom line. The Democratic Republic of the Congo is a hub of armed groups destabilizing the entire region. You Congolese people, you know this for many years. You've got the solution. I gave you my own 2 cents about it. A population of 100+ million, 107, 108 million Congolese people. You cannot tell me that if you simply get 1 million brothers and sisters, healthy, 18 years old, take them to your military camp, give them some course, bring them to your Eastern Democratic Republic bring them to the border of your country, between your country, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi, because that's a hot zone. And then from there, go back inside and wipe out every single armed groups. All armed groups that are there. You will neutralize the whole problem of these 130+ armed groups. However, we know what time it is. In order for you as a country to stay busy and crying and asking for help, there has to be a war in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo until you Congolese people put it together. A foreigner cannot steal your mineral resources without some other things that are keeping you busy. These big boys, the so-called the developed nations, they cannot plunder your country without a war. There has to be a reason why the United Nations troops camps there for 30+ years. Otherwise, they would not justify being there. And when these guys are there, just like the United States in Rwanda, the United States military in Rwanda, Rwanda cannot police the United States in Rwanda. Can you just imagine that? They can come and go as they please because Rwanda has allowed that to happen. You cannot police the United Nations troops in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. So how can you know what goes in and what goes out? I would dare say that they are even conveniently the one bringing in these guns, selling out these weapons, bringing in and bringing out these natural resources. They into all of that. It's a great business model. If I can come in your country and do as I please, and you have zero control over me, you can't even sneeze around me. What is it what can I not do? Did you know that the United Nations, when they were in Rwanda, they were used to bring in guns, to bring in the Rwandan Patriotic Front to the capital in Rwanda. Up to this day, you don't know about that, most of you. But us now, we are looking. So what am I saying overall? This is a theater, guys. This is what they call a war theater, where everything has been prepackaged. There's already an outcome expected out of this whole entire mess. Unfortunately, our brothers and sisters are going to die. And unlike in Hollywood movies, they are going to permanently die. There are so many things that are being destroyed. And unlike in Hollywood movies, you cannot bring all this destruction back. So we keep on saying here at our Free Dominion show, there is a necessity to take back the full dominion of Africa, one nation at a time. By you, brothers and sisters, kings and queens of Africa, ourselves. Because we are the one who have the highest stakes in what's happening. If Rwanda becomes destabilized, every single Rwandese citizens and those foreigners, they cannot live there peacefully. Destabilization of the Democratic Republic of the Congo results in millions of deaths. Conveniently, while you are dying, foreigners can come in and plunder the territory unchecked. It is very easy. And they say that that's the price of the strongest to survive on this planet. They said the strong survive. They do whatever they can do, they must do to survive, including killing millions of people. The weakest die, the strongest survive. That's the narrative, but I do not subscribe into that. So you brothers and sisters, as you're listening, as you're watching this program, I'm not pumping, I'm not happy of the war that's taking place in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. It is unconscionable that a mouse and an elephant go in the same ring and they attempt to fight. It's unconscionable. Rwanda is no match for the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Rwanda is no match. Even if the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Russia, and China can help Rwanda. When you put apples to apples on the table, it is easier to go and help the DRC, who has everything you're looking for, than Rwanda. It does not take a genius to realize that. Now, you Africans, take note, because the same reason we have a war in the Democratic Republic of the Congo is the same reason Rwanda is attempting to persuade every single one of you that it has not one single soldier on the territory of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. But unfortunately, everybody but Rwanda knows that it's full of lies. It's a liar. They know. And right now it's becoming actually unsexy when they publicly lie, because it's like, okay, we know you're full of it. You're lying. It's useless for you to just lie publicly. And that makes us all look bad, by the way. If my job is to lie to you publicly, and you know that I'm lying to you publicly, at some point you just disassociate yourself with me. Rwanda, it's a sexy girl who knows how to manipulate, who's been very beautifully dressed, very beautifully fixed up. They did the best makeup. But now, when it came to the time of washing the face and actually letting go of the makeup and the beautification process, you're realizing that it's a mess. But none of you want to take responsibility for the mess that you've created. Guess who's left to pick up the pieces? Me, you brothers and sisters. That's the moral of the story. No matter how many of us are dying every single day, we're talking about in millions. You don't see millions dying here in the United States. You do not see millions of people dying here in the United States. You do not see millions of people dying in France. You do not see millions of people dying in the United Kingdom. You do not see millions of people dying in China, in Russia. But in Africa, it's easy. And all the stakeholders, bringing in the weapons, bringing in the means to cause these wars are foreigners. So the joke is on us Africans. The joke is on you, Congolese people. The joke is on you, Rwandese people, Burundian people. Because they realized we do not have unity. They realized they can come in and sell weapons to Rwanda and give weapons to these rebel groups, even give weapons to the DRC, and then say, kill each other. And while you're busy killing each other, we will come around and plunder whatever it is we want. We will come and help ourselves out. It's like me and you as brothers, we quarrel together, and a foreigner comes in and they give me a gun and they give you a gun and say, hey, just kill him. They're telling us both to kill each other. And we do that. Who's losing in this scenario, guys? We have family. Someone on the outside comes in and give you weapons and say, hey, just wipe him out. There's no free lunch. Remember that, guys. So I'm going to end it up there. I'm going to end it here. Because there's so much to say about it, but there's so much testimony. I was not able to play the videos that I wanted to play because they told me that we didn't have the license, unfortunately, guys. But I was craving to play a few clips of what's happening in the DRC, especially the clip for the for the Rwandan foreign minister crying publicly. And actually also misleading and lying publicly without even flinching. And all of you bought into this story. So guys, give us some feedback on this conversation here at AfriDominion.com, www.AfriDominion.com, and shoot us an email at info@AfriDominion.com. I apologize to all of you guys. I wasn't able to actually read the comments today because I had so much to say, and I was also being shared some other conversation that I needed to get through to you guys. But come back in tomorrow, guys. This conversation is not going anywhere because it's relevant to the time that we are in, and each and every one of you has a saying in it. But specifically, I would love to see the Congolese people publicly speaking up the same way you've done it, like this past weekend. It was incredible to see you for the first time speaking up. It is your country, after all. It is your country. And I would love to see you, brothers and sisters, all over Africa, fight against every single one of us. Even if it's me. If I'm bringing in fights, if I'm bringing in wars against you, if I'm selling out, fight against me. Let's fight against every single one of our brothers and sisters who are selling out to each and every one of us. And with that in mind, guys, I am Freeman Singirankabo here at Free Dominion Show. Thank you so very much, guys, for tuning into the program. And until we see you guys again tomorrow, have yourself a beautiful day and God bless.